It came through on a Thursday at 4:00 p.m. I was in my truck, sitting in the Home Depot parking lot, waiting for them to load the lumber for the Henderson chow. Just another moment in a life I thought I understood. Just another day. The sun was doing that thing it does in late September, lazy and golden, making everything look warmer than it actually was. I had Leonard Scarred on the radio, a half-finished energy drink in the cup holders, and exactly zero awareness my entire world was about to collapse. Derek Powell. We'd been friends since freshman year at State. 23 years of bad decisions, inside jokes, and the kind of loyalty you only build by going through life together. I know how Derek texts, the rhythms of his humor, when he's serious, when he's messing with me. Yo, this is going to sound weird, but listen to this podcast. Episode 47. Tell me that's not clear. No lol, no laughing emoji. No follow-up about the game last weekend or fantasy football. Just a link and those words. The silence of it was what got me. Derek Phil Stace, he's the guy who sends 15 texts when 3 would do. This economy of words wasn't him. I almost ignored it anyway. I don't do podcasts. Never saw the point. I work with my hands all day. When I get downtime, the last thing I want is more noise in my head. But something about those flat sentences made my them hover over the screen. The podcast was called Between Os. The tagline read, "Anonymous women sharing real experiences, the stories you can't tell anyone else." 300 Sanson total downloads. The episode title hit me like a 2i4 to the face. 5, How I Hide My Affair from My Husband, and You Can Too. My first thought, Claire wouldn't. She couldn't. My second thought, just listen. Prove Derek wrong. I pressed play. A woman's voice filled my truck cabin. Warm, confident, professional, almost like a TED Talk or one of those self-improvement seminars Claire used to drag me to. Instructional, like she was teaching a cooking class or explaining how to organize a closet. A welcome back, everyone. So, this week I want to get practical. A lot of you have been asking in the comments about logistics. How do I actually maintain the double life without getting caught? And I totally get it. The fantasy is one thing. The execution is everything. My blood turned to ice water. It wasn't sounds like. It wasn't could be. It was Claire, my wife of 11 years, the mother of my 8-year-old daughter, speaking directly into my ears about how to betray a husband. The key is consistency, she was saying, and I could picture her at the desk in our home office, that desk I'd built her 3 years ago from reclaimed oak. I'd spent 6 weekends on that thing, sanding, staining, getting the joints perfect. You have to maintain the routine, never change your story, never add unnecessary details. My husband, she said, those words with a slight edge of condescension I'd never noticed in person. He trusts easily, almost too easily. It's actually kind of sad when you think about it. And then she laughed. A light, casual laugh, like she was sharing a funny anecdote at a Clancy waiter. And so, I have a system. I keep a second phone. Nothing fancy, just a cheap burner from Walmart, and I hide it in a hollowed-out book on the shelf. War and Peace. It's perfect. He's never going to touch that thing. Another laugh. He thinks I'm being aspirational about my reading list. The loading crew knocked on my window. 2 guys in orange vests, one holding a clipboard. Mr. Ashford, your lumber's ready. Bay 12, I waved them off. Couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Must have looked like I was having a stroke. Sir, you okay? Fine, I managed. Give me a minute. They exchanged a look and walked away. Claire's voice continued, explaining what she called the gym excuse. How she told me she went to yoga 3 times a week. He never questions it. I come home a little seedy, a little tired, and he just assumes I've been doing downward dog for 90 minutes. How had I ever questioned her? She had a whole script ready. Turn it around. She advised her listeners, don't get defensive. Get offended. Ask him why he doesn't trust you. Make him feel guilty for even asking. Suddenly, he's apologizing to you. Works every time. I remembered asking once, just once, why she was late coming home from yoga. She'd looked at me with those wounded eyes and said, "Do you not trust me after everything we've been through?" And I'd apologized, brought her flowers the next day. I sat in that parking lot for 37 minutes. I listened to the entire episode. Then, hands shaking, I went to the episode list. There were 84 episodes. 84. My wife had been doing this for years, teaching women how to cheat, using our marriage as her source material, and I'd had no idea. I didn't go home. I couldn't face her. Not yet. Not until I understood exactly what I was dealing with. I drove to a parking garage downtown, one of those brutalist concrete structures where the shadows swallow everything. 4th level, corner spot, back against the wall like some cornered animal. I killed the engine and started downloading episodes to my phone with the grim determination of a man assembling evidence at a crime scene, which, in a way, I was. 6 hours. That's how long it took to listen to the highlights, to piece together the shape of my own destruction in Claire's own words. Episode Hensei, the Fenstein, crossing the line without guilt. Her voice was almost giddy. You have to understand, I wasn't looking for this. I thought I had everything I wanted. Good husband, beautiful daughter, nice house. But something was missing. This spark, you know, and when it finally happened, when I finally let myself go the 80s, it was like waking up after years of sleepwalking. She talked about the rush, the validation, the way being desired by someone new made her feel alive again. She described the first encounter in enough detail that I had to stop the audio and breathe through my nose for 5 minutes before I can. Episode 23 had a title I won't repeat here. She compared us, me and him. My husband is reliable, she said, and the word dripped with faint content. He's there, he does what he says he'll do. He's predictable, and for a long time, I thought that was enough. I thought stability was the same as happiness, a pause. Then it isn't. My other man, he is unpredictable, passionate. He looks at me like I'm the only woman in the world, like he'd walk through fire just to touch a. When's the last time my husband looked at me like that? I thought about it. When was the last time I'd looked at her like that? Was I really that boring? Had I failed her somehow? Then I caught myself. She was doing it, even recorded, even playing to an audience that didn't include me. She was making me doubt myself, making me wonder if her cheating was somehow my fault. Episode 3080, Financial Secrets. Keeping a hidden fund. If every woman should have an exit fund, Claire said matter-of-factly. Money that's yours alone. Money nobody knows about. I've been building mine for 4 years now. A little here, a little there. Skimming from the grocery budget, cash back at the store, deposits and I podcast. My husband handles the business finances. I handle the household stuff. He has no idea this account exists for 4 years. She'd been planning her escape, or at least her independence from me for 4 years. Episode 51's What If He Finds Out? My contingency plan. This one was like a lesson in psychological warfare. She had a plan, an actual documented plan for what to do if I ever discovered the truth. I'd deny everything. Don't admit to anything specific. Ache him, coat. And here's the key. If he gets close to the truth, don't get defensive. Get aggressive. Turn it around. How dare he not trust me after everything I've done for this family? Make him feel guilty for even asking. 9 times out of 10, he'll back off. He'll apologize. He'll convince himself he was wrong. She paused, then added with a small laugh, and honestly, even if he doesn't back off, so what? He won't leave. Men like my husband, they stay. They're too afraid of change, too invested in the life they've built. He'll be hurt. He'll pout for a while, and then things will go back to normal. It always does. That assumption that I was too weak, too comfortable, too broken to actually leave might have been the most insulting part. Etisan, 67. My affair partner's wife almost caught us. She turned this into a comedy bit. So, we're at this restaurant, not our usual place, somewhere we thought was safe. And guess who walks in? His wife, Diana. I literally ducked under the table like I was in some cheesy spy movie. He had to pretend he was there alone for a business meeting. She sat down at his table. I was crouched under the booth for 45 minutes, and I had to pee so bad I thought I was going to die. Her listeners loved it. The comments section was full of laughing emojis, people praising her for her quick thinking. His wife's name was Diana. That detail lodged in my brain like a splinter. Episode 79A, why I'll never confess, and neither should you. I know some people think confession is the noble thing, the right thing. Clear your conscience. Give your partner the chance to make an informed decision. Blah, blah, blah. She made a dismissive sound. That's selfishness dressed up as honesty. Confession doesn't help your partner. It just makes you feel better while blowing up their entire life. She continued phased. If he finds out on his own, deal with it then. But volunteer the information. Never. What he doesn't know keeps us both comfortable. And comfortable is good. Comfortable is a life worth protecting. By the time I finished the most revealing episodes, it was almost midnight. My phone showed 17 missed calls from Claire, plus a chain of increasingly concerned texts. Hey, thought you'd be home by now. Vic, everything okay? Getting a little worried. Call me. Did something happen at work? Victor, this isn't funny. Where are you? I stared at those messages. The concerned wife, the worried partner. The performance was flawless. She'd had years of practice. I typed back, sorry, Henderson job went sideways. Long story. Grabbed dinner. Heading home now, damn, 3 dots appeared. Then, thank God, I was freaking out. See you soon. Love you. And a red heart emoji. I stared at that little heart until my vision blurred. How many times had she sent that same emoji right after leaving a hotel room with him? Here's the thing about betrayal on this scale. It doesn't make you fall apart. Not if you're built a certain way. I've been a general contractor for 15 years. I've seen projects go sideways in every way imaginable. Foundation cracks, load-bearing walls in the wrong place, budgets that explode overnight. You don't survive in this business by panicking. You assess, you plan, you execute. Sitting in that shadowy parking garage, something cold and sharp crystallized inside my chest. Not rage. Rage is hot, messy, impulsive. This was different. This was clarity. My wife thought I was a fool. She'd told 10,000 strangers that I was clueless, that I'd never leave even if I found out. She was wrong about all of it. In episode 31, Claire had mentioned her affair partner's profession. He's in real estate development. She'd said with a tone of breathless admiration she'd never used when talking about me. Very successful. We actually met through my husband's work. which is kind of ironic. My husband introduced us at a networking thing and didn't think twice about it. I work with real estate developers constantly. The list of candidates wasn't long. I texted Derek. "It's her. Don't tell anyone. I need time." His response came 30 seconds later. I figured. "Brother, I'm here." Wife and another. "I'm so sorry, man. I'm finally don't do anything tonight. Sleep on it. We'll figure this out. Good advice." I wasn't going to follow it completely. Sleep was unlikely. But he was right about one thing. Tonight wasn't the time for action. Tonight was for absorbing the blow. Tomorrow I'd start planning. I drove home at 9:30. The house looked exactly the same as it always had. White siding, black shutters, the porch light on like a beacon. I'd painted those shutters myself 2 summers ago. This was my house, my life, my family. All built on lies. Claire was on the couch watching a home renovation show. "Hey, babe," she said without looking up. "You had me worried. Dinner's in the fridge." "Sir, thanks, long day." "Want to tell me about it?" "Yeah, really. Just tired." She nodded, eyes still on the screen. "Okay. Get some rest." I ate leftover pasta standing at the kitchen counter, not tasting any of it. From where I stood I could see her profile, the curve of her cheek, the way she tucked her feet under her. She looked exactly like the woman I'd married, the woman who'd been laughing about me to 10,000 strangers. I made a decision that night. No confrontation, no screaming matches, no pathetic betting for explanations, no couples therapy where I'd watch her lie to a professional. I was going to take everything back, every shred of dignity she'd stolen. I gave myself 90 days. Rest day 3 hours. Claire left for yoga. The hollowed-out book was exactly where she described it. A War and Peace, thick and obvious, on the shelf in the office. Inside, a Samsung burner phone, passcode protected. I didn't try to crack it. I took photos, the phone, the book, the location, and put everything exactly as I'd found it. Then I called Derek. "I need your help. And I need to know how you actually found this." A long pause. "Vic, just tell me." He exhaled. "My wife mentioned it months ago. Said her coworker listens to this podcast." I got curious. Figured I'd check it out. Started recognizing details. The way she described her husband, the job, the house, your daughter's age. I spent 3 weeks going back and forth about whether to tell you. 3 weeks. Because I didn't want to be wrong, man, and I didn't want to blow up your life based on a hunch. His voice cracked slightly. "But you deserve to know. You had the right to know. I let that sit. You didn't destroy my life, Derek." She did. "You just gave me a chance to save what's left of it." "What are you going to do?" "Something smart, something patient." "Vic, don't do anything stupid." "No, I'm done being stupid. That's the whole point." It was days 8 through 15 I hinted. Real estate developer. Met through my work, has a wife. Travels frequently. More successful than her husband. I'd worked with exactly 4 developers in the past 3 years. By day 12, I'd narrowed it to one Austin Mercer, 42 years old, married to a woman named Diana, built like he spent more time at the gym than the office, drove a Mercedes that cost more than most people's houses. The kind of guy who clapped you on the shoulder and called you buddy while figuring out how to screw you. Day 12, a Wednesday, so I drove past Austin's office on a hunch. Claire had told me she was visiting her mother. Her car was in the parking garage. 3rd level, right next to a silver Mercedes G-Wagon with a vanity plate that read Marsa. I took photos, timestamps, license plates. Then I sat in my trunk and felt the cold, sharp thing crystallize again. I called her mother's house from a blocked number. Hello. Hi, this is Dr. Patterson's office, calling for Claire Ashford. Is she available? Claire. No, she's not here. Was she supposed to be? I haven't seen her in weeks. My mistake. Wrong number. Sorry to bother you. I hung up her day 14's. I met Frank Castellano at a diner on the edge of town. Former cop, 58, face like crumpled. I handed him a folder, the podcast episodes on a flash drive, my notes, the photos. He flipped through, expression neutral. This is one of the most detailed evidence packages I've ever received from a spouse, he said. Most guys come to me with nothing but a gut feeling. I'm not most guys. No, he nodded slowly. I don't believe you are. You want the full workup, surveillance, financials, the whole 9 yards. Everything. I want to know what color underwear this guy wears. Frank almost smiled. That'll cost you. I don't care what it costs. I need the trunks, all of it. And then what? I met his eyes. Then I'm going to tear their whole world down around them. Frank studied me. I'll be in touch. Tash Day 18. Finances. Here I hired a forensic accountant, Louise Webb. Discreet, thorough, expensive. What she found made me want to put my fist through a wall. A separate bank account opened 4 years ago. The podcast generated roughly $300 a month. Over 3 years, she'd deposited more than 87,000 into that hidden account. The money went to luxury items, spa trips, hotel rooms, and she'd been skimming from our joint household budget for years. She's methodical, Louise said, sliding a spreadsheet across her desk. This wasn't impulse. This was planned, 4 years of planning at least. Day 22 I sat in Patricia Holden's office. Family law attorney, looked like she ate opposing counsel for breakfast. In this state, we're no fault for divorce purposes, she explained, but infidelity can affect alimony and asset division. Dissipation of marital assets, spending money on an affair, is grounds for reimbursement. Her hidden income is marital property. She's been hiding assets. That's not a grey area. She smiled thinly. Mr. Ashford, your wife created 84 episodes of herself confessing to adultery. I've never seen a spouse hand us the evidence quite so thoroughly. What about custody? Document everything. Every time you're the pioneering caregiver. The court favors the stable parent. From what you described, that's you. I stood to leave. Patricia called after me. Mr. Ashford, most men in your position want to confront their wives immediately, blow up the marriage in a fit of rage, feel righteous for about 5 minutes, then spend years regretting it. The smart ones wait, build the case, protect their position. She paused. You seem like a smart one, Das. I turned back. I've had 11 years of being underestimated. I'm done. Day 30 Frank delivered his first full report. You were right about Mercer. They've been meeting 2 to 3 times for almost 2 years. Specific hotel, the Wentworth Always Room 412s. Cash payment every time. Austin's treat. I flipped through the photos. Timestamp after timestamp. What about his wife? Diana Mercer. Appears to have no idea. I kept reading. Then I hit the part that really set me off. According to Frank's timeline, Claire and Austin's affair began before I hired Austin's company for the downtown renovation project. A project worth $2.3 million. Austin's company had underbid by a margin that hadn't made sense at the time. I remembered Claire encouraging me to give Austin a chance. Yeah, Frank said quietly. She didn't just cheat on you. She steered your business to her boyfriend. Ciara's day 32. I had coffee with Austin Mercer. His office is corner seat, 17th floor, all glass and chrome. A putting green in the corner. Victor, great to see you. That to the smile. We talked about a fake project. He was smooth, charming. Hey, we should get the families together sometime, he said. Double date. Diana's been saying we don't socialize enough. I smiled. That sounds great. I'll talk to Claire about it. Say, walking out, I thought, you have no idea what's about to happen to you. And by the time you figure it out, it'll be far too late. Thursday's day 35. The Diana questioned Astra. I wrote Diana a letter detailed, compassionate, direct, evidence included. I didn't it. I put it in a safe deposit box with instructions to be delivered in 60 days. Day 38. I accidentally ran into Diana at a charity event in 8 small talk. Later at the bar, she approached me. Sir Ashford Victor, has your wife ever mentioned my husband outside of professional contexts? Not that I can recall. Why do you ask? She hesitated. No reason. Sometimes I wonder if I'm paranoid. Say I handed her my card. If you ever need someone to talk to, someone who might understand, call me anytime. She took the card. She didn't call that night, but I knew she would. Was day 42 pass. I became a ghost on the Between Us forums. One username stood out, Truthseeker22. She'd been asking pointed questions, getting panned, coming back. I reached out. Her real name was Megan Lawson, a licensed therapist. She'd become disturbed by the podcast. I've been trying to figure out who the husband is. She wrote, he deserves to know. I stared at the screen. I'm the husband. Silence. Then oh my God, are you serious? 11 years married, 8-year-old daughter. Everything she's described, it's my life. I'm so sorry. What are you going to do? I'm going to burn it down, and I could use your help. What do you need? A professional analysis of the podcast content, the manipulation tactics, something I can use when the time is right. CO, I'll have it ready in 2 weeks. Day 52 Pontas Lily, my daughter, 8 years old, smarter than half the adults I know. We were at breakfast. Daddy, she said, syrup on her chin. Why are you sad? I'm not sad, sweetheart. Just thinking. You look sad. Your eyes look different. Just some grown-up stuff I'm working through. Is it about Mommy? The question hit me like a punch. What makes you ask that? You guys don't talk as much anymore, and Mommy's always on her phone. I got up, slid in next to her, and wrapped my arms around her. I love you, sweetheart, more than anything. And no matter what happens, I'm always going to be here. I will always protect you. Always. I made myself a promise then. Lily would never be a weapon or a casualty. Day 60. The Alliance, says Diana, finally called. Her voice was strained. Mr. Ashford, I found something. I need to talk to you. In person, if we met at a cafe. I found a receipt, she said, in his jacket pocket. The Wentworth Hotel, room 42. She met my eyes. You know something, don't you? I made a decision. Her name is Claire Ashford. I said, she's my wife. I showed her the evidence. Her face went white, then hardened into something cold and polished. How long have you known? Share 75 days. Why didn't you tell me? Because I needed time to the case to do this right. She stared at me. Then slowly she smiled, no warmth. I want acres days 61 through 82s we planned. Diana brought assets I didn't have. Access to Austin's business accounts, his schedule. We developed a coordinated timeline. Both divorces filed on the same day. Evidence released simultaneously. Of why I want him to lose everything, Diana said. The company, the house, his reputation. That's the plan. Oh, you're very calm about this. I'm furious. But anger makes you sloppy. I'd rather be precise. Day 78, thus another bombshell. Claire's phone records revealed messages to another number. A man named Ryan Foster, a personal trainer at her gym. The messages were older. The affair had ended about a year ago badly. My wife hadn't had one affair. She'd had two. Day 90. Execution as I slipped out of the house. Kissed Lily's forehead while she slept. Sis at hours and 7:30 a.m. Patricia Holden filed the divorce petition. Sionti Hoser at a.m. Diana's attorney filed hers. F900 a.m. Basex, a courier delivered a package to Claire's parents. My letter, a flash drive, a printed timeline. VF 9:30 a.m. Tanthiris packages delivered to Austin's 3 main business partners. Hours at 10 a.m. Sirs, the podcast sponsors received detailed letters from Nathan Lawson. Ours by noon, both sponsors had pulled their support. 11 a.m. Megan posted her professional analysis online. Within hours, it was chanting. If 1200 p.m. Claire's phone rang. Her mother, so 12:30 p.m. Sir Austin's phone exploded. As it's 12:30 p.m. I walked through my front door. Claire was at the kitchen table. Her face was white. Mascara tracked down her cheeks. Victor, what did you do? I sat across from her calm. I listened to your podcast. Her face crumpled. I can explain. No, you can't. I've heard 84 episodes. You've had 3 years to justify what you did. I laid it all out. The burner fun. The hotel, room 4 Wells, the hidden bank account. The downtown project, Ryan Foster. Everything. You turned our marriage into content, I said. You made money teaching other women how to betray their families. You called me clueless. You said I'd never leave. I leaned forward slightly. You were wrong. Victor, please. The divorce papers were filed at 7:30 this morning. Your parents know. Austin's partners know. Diana knows. The sponsors are gone. Within a week, there won't be a single episode of Between Us left less. She sat there shaking. Then the crying stopped. Her jaw hardened. Her eyes went cold. You think you've won something, she said, voice studious. I'll tell Lily you abandoned us. I'll tell the court you were abusive. Women get believed. Men like you get crucified. Say I smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Try, go ahead. Make whatever accusations you want. I have 200 pages of evidence. I have your own voice, 84 episodes of detailed confessions. I have forensic accounting. I have surveillance photos. I have your gaslighting scripts on record. I stood up, and I have 3 months of documented parenting. Every school pickup you missed, every dinner you weren't here for. The judge will reveal it, including the episode where you laugh about how Lily's school schedule made it easier to plan your hotel visits. Episode 63. You want to explain that one in family court? She was shaking again. You can't do this to me. I already did. I opened the front door. You didn't just lose your marriage, Claire. You lost. Completely, totally, irrevocably. The divorce took 4 months. Claire hired a shark. He came out swinging. Privacy invasion, emotional abuse, a controlling husband. Patricia Holden didn't blink. Your Honor, we submit into evidence Exhibit A. Episodes of a podcast in which the respondent describes In her own words, her methods of deception. Claire's own voice played through the courtroom, her instructions on gaslighting, her mockery, her laughter. Her credibility was obliterated. Custody went to me. Primary physical custody, symbolized licitation for Claire. The judge cited her documented pattern of deception and manipulation. Financially, Claire was ordered to reimburse me for dissipated marital assets, roughly 75,000. The podcast income was marital property. I was entitled to 50%. I donated my share to a children's advocacy organization. Between us went dark. Within 6 weeks, Austin Mercer's world collapsed faster. His partners dissolved their partnership. Projects were cancelled. Diana executed her divorce with surgical precision. The prenup was voided. She took the house, 50% of his assets, everything. 6 weeks after day 90, Frank called. "Yeah, you'll hear about Mercer. Feds picked him up this morning. Fraud charges. The scrutiny had uncovered tax evasion, falsified documents, bribes. He pleaded guilty. 18 months in federal prison. Real estate license revoked. 1 year later, I'm on the porch of my new house, a craftsman bungalow. Lily's inside, 9 years old now. She's resilient. Diana and I get coffee every few weeks and understand. Derek's still my best friend. Business is better than ever. Claire lives in a 1-bedroom apartment. Works as an administrative assistant. She sees Lily every other weekend, supervised. The visits are awkward. Last month, I got a message through an old podcast forum. I was in her audience. I took her advice. I did things I'm not proud of. When everything came out, I realized what I'd become. I confessed to my husband. We're in counseling now. We might it not, but at least I'm not lying anymore. I thought you should know. I read it twice. Then I closed the browser and went outside to throw a football with Lily. 10,000 listeners. That's how many people heard Claire mock me, teach betrayal, celebrate deception. 10,000 strangers who knew my humiliation before I did. But I wasn't the fool she thought I was. I was the man who paid attention, the man who built the case, the man who waited, then executed the plan without hesitation. I looked through the kitchen window at Lily, laughing at something on her phone. That's what matters. That's all that ever mattered.